6,000 years earlier. Aziraphale gingerly peeked his head around the corner, his voice soft as he greeted, "Hello," accompanied by a subtle wave of his hand. "Ah, it's you," Crowley replied with a languid indifference, his tone casually acknowledging his presence. Aziraphale, cloaked in the guise of curiosity, observed Crowley's attire. "You seem rather prepared for a sojourn," he remarked, his gaze lingering on the celestial finery that adorned him. A buoyant excitement laced Crowley's response. "Indeed, my dear Aziraphale, just a minor escapade across the cosmic tapestry." Aziraphale's gaze shifted back and forth, comprehending the scene unfolding before him. The realization dawned, and he leaned in toward Crowley, his voice a conspiratorial whisper, "You're not suggesting you're heading down there?" His gesture indicated a downward trajectory. Crowley's smile remained affable as he clarified, merely a brief dalliance to witness the grand spectacle of creation. A tremor of unease rippled through Aziraphale's being. His stance mirrored his trepidation, his words laden with worry. "Yet, departing from this realm might necessitate leaving behind all that we hold dear, an eternal exile from grace." Crowley waved off the concern, dismissing it with a casual flick of his hand. "Worry not, Aziraphale. They barely acknowledge my existence. They don't even deign to respond when I inquire about any of this." His sweeping gesture encompassed the celestial realms around them. "They care not for my whereabouts." Aziraphale's expression shifted, his distress becoming more palpable. He pleaded, his voice tinged with a touch of desperation, "But departing this place could mean forsaking all that we are, forever. Departure may be construed as a celestial rebellion, a denial of our very essence." Crowley's grin remained steadfast as he attempted to allay Aziraphale's concerns. "You're always the anxious one, my dear Aziraphale. I'm merely planning a rendezvous with Lucifer and the rest of the guys. Just a friendly catch-up." His words took a thoughtful pause, his earnestness shining through. "Honestly, they value my input more than this lot does." A sweep of his arm once more encompassed the current setting. "You worry too much, my friend." Despite his calm exterior, there was an unease that gnawed at Aziraphale's soul. He knew well enough to understand that a friendly catch-up with Lucifer and the other denizens of the netherworld was never as simple as it sounded. Crowley had a knack for getting entangled in situations far more complicated than he initially let on. His thoughts raced, and a sense of foreboding settled over him. He couldn't let Crowley go without at least attempting to make him reconsider. With determined strides, Aziraphale followed in Crowley's wake, catching up with him just as they reached an ethereal corridor in the fabric of reality itself. Aziraphale's voice was low, filled with genuine concern. "Crowley, you must reconsider this journey. The consequences could be dire. What if they discover your presence? What if they—" Crowley cut him off with a sigh, his exasperation evident. "Aziraphale, you worry too much. I've traversed the cosmic boundaries for eons, and I've always managed to slip under their celestial gaze." Aziraphale's eyes bore into Crowley's, pleading for him to understand. "But this time, it feels different. The balance between heaven and hell is delicate, and any misstep could tip it in favor of chaos. You're playing with fire, my friend." "I know, Aziraphale." Crowley's shoulders slumped, and for a moment, his facade cracked, revealing the uncertainty that lay beneath. "But sometimes, I can't help but feel that there's more to all of this than we've been led to believe. I just need to see it, for myself." Aziraphale met his gaze with unwavering determination. "Then let me accompany you," he affirmed, nodding resolutely. "We can face whatever awaits down there together." Crowley's eyes softened approvingly in response. "Aziraphale, you've always been the voice of reason. I can't ask you to come along and risk your standing in heaven." Aziraphale smiled, placing a hand on Crowley's shoulder. "My dear friend, if you're determined to go, then I'm determined to go with you." However, Crowley, with a casual wave of his hand, brushed away Aziraphale's unwavering offer. "No need, Aziraphale. I'm quite content to journey alone." With those parting words, Crowley took his leave, striding away purposefully, leaving Aziraphale to grapple with the magnitude of his impending journey. Left standing there, Aziraphale struggled to collect himself. He pressed his fingers into his palms, anxiety coursing like needles through his celestial form, and he knew he couldn't merely stand by idly. The prickling converging in his mind would not be sublimated, it demanded a thread of understanding, a lifeline to hold onto within his tempestuous internal struggle. Why the rush? Visiting, or fleeing? Surely there must be a catalyst for this haste. After a contemplative pause, Aziraphale's curiosity propelled his feet mechanically towards a place that held a special significance, a place Crowley had once proudly introduced to him to showcase some of his finest creations. Peeking his head inside, Aziraphale couldn't help but inquire, "Pray tell, what is unfolding in this corner of existence?" The scene that met his eyes resembled a frenzied going out of business sale. Angels bustled, papers piled up, and a sense of urgency hung in the air. "This section is shutting down," one angel remarked matter-of-factly. As a seed of understanding took root in his mind, Aziraphale responded with a simple, "Ah." Another angel chimed in, moving everything over to records. Nodding politely, and a quiet "very good," Aziraphale wove his way through the bustling activity, dodging the hurried angels. He eventually arrived at Crowley's desk, his fingers tracing the surface with a contemplative touch. His attention became fixated on a particular box, its label catching his eye, Alpha Centauri Model V3.128, obscured by an official approved stamp. Intrigued, Aziraphale delicately lifted the box, holding it close to his chest. Casting a quick, furtive glance around to ensure no prying eyes were on him, he carefully pried open the box's lid. An exquisite, vibrant display blossomed forth, an artistic rendition of the star system, a cherished favorite that Crowley had once shared with him. As the colors and wonder washed over him, Aziraphale's sense of panic deepened, his heart thumping in his ears drowning out the noise of the disturbances surrounding him. An irrational sense of dread welled up within, urging him to protect the item as if it contained some precious portion of his friend's very essence. Glancing around discreetly once more, Aziraphale's determination solidified with a new sense of purpose. He surreptitiously tucked the box beneath his robes, securing it close against his body. Each step he took away from the area carrying a hint of haste, a reflection of the urgency he felt to safeguard these memories from the events unfolding around him.